that cars.
Lime Rock. Oh man. It's got a lot of grip.
Yeah, it handles really well.
I actually drove up with here in this thing, so.
What kind of tires do you have on it? I think they're Michelin Pilot Sports.
I love this engine. Yeah, it sounds awesome.
There's 10
Lots of
in.
brakes there.
That's it.
That's a quick lap.
Yeah, it's over.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for this video, I'm heading to Lime Rock, Connecticut to learn more about the Lexus Racing Program and to also watch them compete in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship Series. They've got several drivers competing today, and to get there, I'm driving in the super fancy 2019 Lexus LC500. This is the flagship Lexus, and this one has a V8 in it. So it's making 471 horsepower, and I'm just in love with this thing.
AIM Vasser Sullivan, there's two basic teams that came together. AIM Autosport is a Canadian-based team that's raced in IMSA and sports car racing for years, and Vasser Sullivan have a lot of experience in IndyCar. And we joined forces to run this program for Lexus this year, so we're a new combination of two existing teams. We're very fortunate to be able to run the Lexus RC F GT3. This is a car that's in its third year of competition in this championship. It's a new car to us, so we're learning its nuances. One of the things we've learned this weekend is this is a track we struggle at a little bit. The 14 car qualified fairly well for what we expected, where our expectations were. The 12 car we had a technical issue, which hopefully we fixed, but it didn't qualify very well. So it's a long, hot day. The biggest problem every car has in this championship is these are race cars. So it doesn't have all the creature comforts of the road RCF in terms of air conditioning. We have an air conditioning system for the driver's helmet, which helps cool their heads, keeps their core temperature cool because the head is what you need to cool. And then we also have fans that blow air on them from outside the car, but that's ambient temperature. So all we're doing is blowing hot air on them, but it's air circulation nonetheless. We monitor the cockpit temperature inside the car. I'm Canadian, so forgive me, I deal in Celsius. We'll see 38 to 40 degrees Celsius in the car. The interesting thing that happens is when the car is running, the temperature comes down because there's airflow. So we go to a full course yellow or a pit stop, we can see the cockpit temperature jump up immediately, anywhere from 4 to 8 degrees Celsius. That's the reason we've added extra cooling fans in the car to try and help get the air out of the car as quickly as possible. It's not just as easy as sitting there and pushing the pedals and turning the steering wheel. You know, there's physical feedback. The steering loads up quite high here, the last corner. The power steering system actually overloads for a split second in the middle of the corner, and that adds extra load every lap for the driver. It's a 51-second lap, so a driver's stint will be 62 to 65 minutes, anywhere upwards of 71 laps. So it's going to be a workout for the guys. Now we can kind of massage that a bit. From a strategy point of view, we'll be watching lap time, we'll be talking to the driver, how you feeling, and you know, we might decide to change a little early. But the typical strategy is you want to be the first to pit last. That way, if there's a yellow, you can cycle up to the front. So normal strategy is the first guys to pit last. You'll see that right around 65 minutes to go. People will start pitting. Once somebody goes, everybody goes. Whether you can make it to the end or not on fuel, you go anyway because you have to.
Why don't we just quickly talk about the makeup of the car? First of all, the car is born in Yokohama. It's tested at Fuji Motor Speedway. There's less than a handful of them in the world. There's a few here in North America. We have a third car here. It's up at the Lexus Hospitality Presentation Center, if you will. It's a show car, but it is a true thoroughbred racing car. If we needed to pull it off of its display, we can certainly do that. We don't want to do that, but we can do that if we absolutely need to. The car weighs about 1,350 kilograms, so just a little over 2,000 pounds. It's a little bit lighter, of course, than the road-going car. The only real part of the car that mimics that of the road car, the road-going RCF, is the center section. We call that the white tub area. And if the car was in front of us, you would physically be able to see the door jams. You open up the doors and you can physically see the same type of jams that you would see in other cars and trucks. Those molds are all there. But that's where it ends. It ends right at the firewall. Everything from the firewall forward has been completely rebuilt, re-engineered, redesigned to mimic that of a true thoroughbred racing car. Now, just before the back wheels to the rear of the car, that's where it ends there as well. So there's a lot of technical modifications to make that car a true racing car.
You got the big V8 up front, all the heat transferring through the firewall, and then the exhaust running through the, running boards basically on the side, and just hot in the cockpit. Luckily, the seating position in this car is, I've raced for most of the other manufacturers, this is the most comfortable car to sit in that I've ever raced. The way you're positioned ergonomically. So I use less energy driving this car, but it's also pretty hot in it, so it balances out that way. It's my first time racing a front engine car. I've raced Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Audi, Lotus. So this is my first time in a front engine car, so it's taken a little bit to get adjusted to it. But when you come see our RC F GT3 up close, you'll see that Lexus has done an incredible amount of engineering to make this thing compete and win against a Ferrari 488 or a 911, which is no small feat. It's pretty impressive when you think about how the cars meet in this formula, just how much work's gone in to make an RCF battle, and so we're pretty proud of that. I mean, I can compare it to the Ferrari, let's say. In the Ferrari, you don't have as much room behind the seat, so you can't get as far back with the seat. Consequently, your seat is rotated up, so you're a little more upright, and I'm tall from torso up, so now I'm up. I generally like to be like this. You lay back this much forward. Now I'm up, which means that my upper body's more of a pendulum, so in the corners, your lower back is firing all the time, even though it's a racing seat. You're still trying to support your upper body. And then to make matters worse, if this is the brake pedal, and let's say this is the steering wheel, in the Ferrari, the brake pedal is here because of the wheel well, and the steering column is about here. Well, I left foot brake like most drivers do now, so consequently my left foot is going here on the brake, and so now my lower back is being strained, and I've got two pendulums working against me, my upper body and my lower body. In the Lexus, because at its core it's a more comfortable design car as a daily driver, we really benefit as a race car because things are much more in a line. In fact, the brake pedal is wide enough that I'm much more ergonomically aligned, and it's amazing how much less energy I burn driving this car. I think it's a fair point that if you look at certainly the BMW and the Lexus, those are coupes, right? And therefore, just ergonomically, it's probably a little bit better. Longer nose, therefore the wheel well doesn't protrude quite as much. In terms of kind of pure performance setup, the mid-engine is awfully nice, just the way the car is balanced. I mean, a Ferrari does drive really, really nice. But I think you really have to look to how exotic the design of the race car version is to just decide what's the best format. I don't know if you've had a chance, but if you look at our cars, just really up under the hood, which they'll let you do, it's pretty impressive. We're a little different the way our cockpits are set up, but the biggest difference is I like a massive brake pedal face. I don't want any any chance that my foot's going to slide off the top or that I'm going to impact the side of the pedal. So in my car, it literally looks about like this shape. It's a little wider and a little taller, and I like a ton of grip tape everywhere. So, and then at the base of the heel box, we have a heel stop as well, and that's really what you're bracing on when you're applying the throttle or the brake is the heel stop. Different than a road car, our heel sits up against something. Because you left foot brake, therefore you aren't using a dead pedal, right? Because you're always kind of covering the brake pedal. Even though the car has a dead pedal, the race car, you don't really use it as a left foot braker. So you need something to push off to kind of brace yourself as you're cornering. So we use a heel stop, and I have grip tape all over everything. I think as much grip and friction as I can generate.
I come from an open wheel background, so I'm used to a very reclined seating position, so is he.
Yeah.
But consequently, we like the wheel close to us for leverage, but not at the expense of being upright. You know, Lexus is, as a product experience, is so refined, so seamless, so quiet. I mean, when I get in my Lexus at home, it's like, you know, it's like so comfortable. The seats are so good. Sometimes that's at odds with performance in terms of trying to make compromise. So I think what they've done particularly well is they've moved towards performance, is really not giving up that NVH that's so good in their cars and the refinement. They kind of tiptoeing towards performance, but I think the more the racing program validates that they should be a performance brand, the more you see like the track, the RCF track edition and stuff like that, which 5 years ago would have never happened. And it's fun to see just a little bit of kind of anger and edge and attitude introduced to the brand that historically hasn't really been that.
Walking the paddocks in Lime Rock, and it's sun showers right now, and it feels absolutely awesome because it is super hot out here. But anyway, just got to walk through in the Lexus Racing paddocks, and they shared the details about the car and also got a chance to talk with the drivers. Those guys are awesome. But now it's time to get hot laps basically in the RCF. So totally looking forward to this. Go check this out. So what did you think about the Lexus Racing Program? Did a lot of stuff today in Lime Rock. There's a lot going on. There's the pit tour, there's the hot lap, there's, oh my god, there's so much stuff, and I am beat. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think of the Lexus Racing Program, the drivers' thoughts, and everything else? Please let me know. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it entertaining, please consider giving it a like, hitting that subscribe button, and also hitting that notification bell so that you can get notified anytime we make a new video. So from Lime Rock here in Connecticut, I am going to sign off because I'm super sweaty and I feel so bad leaving lots of dirty things on this beautiful car. Anyway, until next time, my name is Hanson. I'll see you next time.